Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Rand, Master Ogre. And today I'm bringing to you guys a top tier meta deck. I have to say that this is probably one of the most insane decks I have ever played in my life. This deck is awesome. So I'm bringing to you the Virtual World deck profile. I'm going to explain to you guys how this deck kind of works. And, let's just go ahead and jump on into it, shall we? Okay. So, yeah, I played this with a few of my friends and everything like that, and there isn't much they could do about it, just because it deals with, it has a walking macrocosmos. And, anyways, let's go ahead and get started. The first card I'm going to show you guys is Virtual World Maihime Lulu. And, this is the starter of the deck. What you want to do, you want to, activate one of your Virtual World cards, if possible, or even normal summon one. And then you send this from you special summon this from your hand by sending a card of a different type, whether it be monster, spell, or trap, depending on what you target. You want to target, something other than that. So let's say you target a trap card. You're going to send a monster or a spell to add a monster or a spell, but of different types. I'm going to go ahead and see if I could remember to show you guys a small little combo towards the end. Alright, next, one of your good normal summons right here is Virtual World Hime Nyan Nyan. Alright, she, whenever this, a level 3 or... Yeah, whenever a level 3 monster is normal or special summoned from the, to the field, you get to special summon this from the graveyard. And when you do, it banishes itself when it leaves the field. So, and another thing it also does is if this card gets banished, then you can shuffle one of your banished cards back into the deck for, for later use. So it has good recycling as well. You want to play all your Virtual World cards at 3. Let me just go ahead and do this. Next, I play 3 Virtual World GG. What this one does, you target a card on the field, and then you send it to the graveyard to special summon it from your hand. And when you do, at the end of your turn, you could bring back a card to your hand from the graveyard, which is really nice. So it's good for recurrence, but the only sucky thing is that it activates during the end of the turn. So it's a little slow, but it's still a really solid normal summon. It's an earthworm. You gotta pay attention to these card types too. Next, I will have to say that this is probably one of the better cards in the deck. I prefer maybe the third best compared to all the other monsters, and I would have to say Virtual World Lao Lao is really good. Alright, what Lao Lao does, same thing. You target a card on the field, and you send a different card of of the type that you targeted to the graveyard. You special summon it, and what it does, you special summon the Virtual World from your graveyard to your field. Which is really, really strong. So, it helps you with the grind game. It helps you combo off. It's a nice little combo piece. It does a lot for the deck. And it's a level 6 tuner as well, which is really, really strong. Alright, next I'm going to show you guys Virtual World Kirin Lily. Alright, what this one does is you can send target, same thing. Target a card on the field, then you send 2 of different types from your deck to the graveyard. So let's say you target a monster, then you're going to send both a spell and a trap from your deck to your graveyard. It kind of hurts sometimes, I feel like, but at the same time, you can always recur your resources with friggin' Yan Yan, which is really powerful. Because when it banishes, it gets to shuffle back one of your banished cards back to the field, and then you're gonna need some for your trap cards. Your trap cards help you shuffle back some of your virtual cards back into your deck. So, it doesn't hurt to banish with this deck. But, yeah. Let's see. Next, the brand new card, Virtual World Otohime Toto. Yeah, really, really good card. Whenever you normal summon this card, I mean, you can normal summon this card without tributing if you control no monsters and or you control psychic and or worm monsters. So that's really good. And also, let me see, it's a brand new card, so yeah, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one psychic or worm monster, special summon this card as a tuner, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, for the rest of this turn, you can only special summon, let me see, level 3 or rank 3 monsters, or higher monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. So you could discard, one of your dead bricks, Cyphereme, Cyphereme Lord, wait, what is it? Cyphereme Driver, that's right, Cyphereme Driver. So you could discard Cyphereme Driver to the graveyard, which is, no cost at all. And then, you could, special summon this card as a tuner, which is really good. So another level 6 tuner potentially, which is really nice. Special summons itself from the graveyard, so it helps with the grind game. You only really need one. Alright, and that's all you play for all your virtual world monsters. And then I'm going to go ahead and go off to the hand traps. Play 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Ghost Bells, right? Because Ghost Bell is really strong this format. 3 Nibirus, because I do feel like combo decks are still really strong out there. It just hurts, against Infernoble Knight players or Rocket Link players. It just shuts them down. Sound great, all of that. So it's really good. Next, like I mentioned before, I played the Gamma package. Really good. Not only is it a monster negate, but it also destroys it as well. You banish both materials when you leave the field, but I'm playing a brick, but it's so worth it. You can just end turns with Gamma. And Gamma is really good. You get Ash Blossom, you hit them with the Gamma, you watch them weep, you continue on with your search. Life goes on. Hell yeah. Next, play for the spell cards, Virtual World Gate, King Long. So this has 2 pretty decent effects. I think the second effect is the better effect. You can banish 1 Virtual World card from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. So, it helps with, breaking boards and stuff like that. You can just bait out and negate. And when this card is in your graveyard, right, you get to banish it and then search for a Virtual World monster. So, it's a searcher in the deck, and because you send so many cards to the graveyard so easily, you'll most likely send this, and then you get yourself a search. If you do 2 in 1 turn, hey, that's no problem, because then you can always use the second card the next turn for a strong grind game. So, Virtual World I realize is a very resilient deck. It's just pretty powerful, after the first turn. Much like Salamangreats, it just keeps coming back with more resource gain. And then, next I play 3 Virtual World Qualoon. So what this does, you activate it, and then you immediately get to activate a Virtual World Gate from your deck to the field. So you could do King Long, and also another trap card, which I'm about to talk to you guys about. Next, I play the Walnuts for the spells. Emergency Teleport, of course. And only play 1 Pot of Desires. I think if I do play 1 Pot of Desires and I play it, it's good. It's still very powerful. But this deck still has a lot of consistency too. So you don't really need Pot of Desires all too much. But yeah, it's still a nice card to have for sure. All right, except for the spells. Hell yeah. Next, I play 3 Virtual World Gate, Chuchi, and 1 Virtual World Gate, Zhuan Yu. So Chu-Chi is really good because during either player's turn, you could just target one face-up card on the field, and then shuffle back two of your banished face-up virtual world monsters into the deck, and then destroy a card, which is really, really strong. So you could do that either turn. You can even chain this to True King of all calamities as well. Like, say for example, they hit you with that, what is that card called? Dark Ruler No More. Then you could flip this up, chain it, and then chain your True King of all calamities. So at least you get the effect of True King of all calamities off anyways, because you cannot react to monster effects, right? Monster effects can't react to Dark Ruler No More, but traps can, and then you just react to the trap that you activated, which is really nice, really strong play. And then next, we got Virtual World Gate, Zhuan Yu, which is during the battle phase, if you control another Virtual World card, you can target one face-up card monster on the field, change its battle position. Decent, whatever. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Virtual World monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but negate its effects. Then summon one card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only use each effective Virtual World Gate on you once per turn. So this is really good for, as an extender. You can send this with one of your cards, and then you can extend with your plays, which is really strong. And this is just another target for your Chu-Chi as well. Shuffle it back into your deck, or your Nian Yan, which is really good. And that's about it. That's it for the, I believe it's 40 cards. 40 card deck. Next, I'm going to go off to the extra deck. Alright. I play 2 Virtual World QV Shenshin. And what this card does, it's really good. It's a walking macrocosmos. Level 9. Any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead. That's all you really need to know. But anyways, you can banish 2 of your Virtual World cards during the main phase. During your own main phase. And then special summon this card. As long as they're different types and attributes, which is really, really good. So, and once per turn, when your opponent monster declares an attack, you can return 1 banished monster to the owner's graveyard, which is pretty nice. Helps you with the resource gain, I wish it negated the attack, though. That would have been nice. But I digress. Next, I run Virtual World Beast, Shiju, which is a pretty nice synchro monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, so you have 2 or more monsters in your graveyard with the same original type and attribute, which is very easy for this deck. And yeah, you can banish 2 monsters from your graveyard with the same original type and attribute, but different names, then target 1 card in the field and send it to the graveyard. So, it's a really strong Synchro 6. People just don't see that effect coming, which is really useful sometimes because it just sends the card to the graveyard. Yeah, it targets, but, it sends it. I've outed the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon like that once before. It felt pretty good. Alright. Next, I play 1 Cloud Castle, 1 Gothams, for the flex. 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech, 1 Trishula, 1 Ravenous Crocker Dragon Archthieves. These are all powerful level 9s. Special summon from the graveyard, rip a card, destroy a card by banishing a tuner. Trishula, need I say more? And Ravenous Crocker draw for the draw, which is nice. Alright. Speaking of drawing, Stardust Charge Warrior, which is really strong. That draw power, man. Sometimes you draw into your combo pieces and you're like, yes, I got a way out of this situation. It's really good. Sideframe Lord Omega, just for obvious reasons. I run the Gamma package. It's foolish not to run this card. Especially if you're able to use it on your own turn and then just go into Omega, and then get back your banished stuff, which is really good. True King of all calamities. Only play 1 of these because, I feel like, honestly, 1 is enough because this deck has so many options. You don't really need to put your opponent under 2 True King of all Calamities. You just have to slow them down. And then this deck is so good that it will just like go through the next turns anyways, which is nice. I decided to try out Sacred Tree Beast Hyperton. Hypertion. I don't know how to say that name. Anyways, you know, it's a brand new card, and what it does, you can detach materials according to whatever you have, like spell, trap, or monsters, and then you can negate the same type. And the way you get those spell or traps is by, you know, during your own main phase, you just attach one straight to this card as material, which is really nice. You know, 2600 attack is kind of low, but it's still a powerful negate nonetheless, especially if you know the matchup that you're going up against. You know, it's a really strong card for sure. You could do trap and monster if you want, or monster and spell. It's really good. Next, I play 1 Phantom Fortress into Blotnir. Really good. You know, you could banish one of your opponent's cards. You know, all non-targeting. 1 random card you could banish. You could banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard if you need to, or the top card of your opponent's deck, which I never use. But all the other 3, the first 3, I do use those a lot, which is you know, very flexible card, really good card in this deck. All right, next for the pesky Nibiru players, even though I play it myself, I have the Bamboozling Gossip Chattel, which is really good because you could get this on your 5th summon, and then if they activate Nibiru, at least you have this, and you can negate the Nibiru to make it to where we both draw like 1 card, which is really strong. So Bamboozling Gossip Chattel is pretty good like that. All you have to do is detach 2 materials, and it's 2600 defense, which is pretty strong for rank 3. Alright, last but not least, Virtual World Phoenix Fan. You know, pretty decent. I didn't really get into this card. I think I'd rather see if I could get Ptolemy M7 and replace that card with this. I mean, it's still a good card, but not as good as Ptolemy. Anyways, that's my competitive Virtual World deck profile. It's your boy Grandmaster Ogre. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys rather see deck profiles or product openings. You know, I just want to settle it once for all because I think you guys like deck profiles more, but you know, I'm always down to open some new Yu-Gi-Oh products. You know, go broke. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.